Shalom, Mishkapa. This is Daniel Bome again, continuing the Tz'fanyah study. I want you to open up to Tz'fanyah chapter 1 on verses 7 this time, just verse 7. Alright, and it says, "Keep silent before our Adonai Elohim, for the day of Adonai is near. Adonai has prepared a sacrifice. He has set apart those he invited." Does this ring a bell to you? In the New Testament, we will read in later times how that there was a certain man who sent out invitations to a wedding feast, and how that some people showed up and were properly dressed and some were not properly dressed. How he sent out invitations, and 5 were ready and 5 were foolish and didn't have proper oil which they could light their way for the bridegroom. He sent out invitations, and people came, and people had excuses, had nothing but excuses. But in the day of judgment, it is truly written, it will be stand before him. Every excuse will be removed. We look toward in Revelation when it talks about how the Mashiach will set up his kingdom in Jerusalem, and he'll reign for 1,000 years. And we read that, and we sit there going like, well, that'd be kind of cool. But do you ever look closely and read in Daniel where it says that when God was here and he set his throne up in Jerusalem and he reigned from there, that every man, this confuses me, every man, they got access to the Mashiach, but every man went and prayed and worshipped his own God. I could never quite understand that. I never quite understanding having access to the Messiah and wanting to go worship Buddha or Allah or some Hindu multi-tristic god or goddess or some paganistic form of worship, but it says in the scriptures that they will worship their own God. They'll continue on their own rebellion. And we read how Satan's bound and thrown in like a fire for 1,000 years, but up until now, we've had him for excuse. In 1976, I came to a revelation that we are blaming Satan for things that we're doing. We are capable of our own sin. And we don't repent, and we don't acknowledge it, and we don't deal with it. You know what I mean? We don't hold ourselves accountable for the evilness by which we live by. And we need to be more accountable for what we do in the Lord. I really got to do something with this lighting situation that I'm running into here. I'm trying to get out of glare, but when I step out of the glare, I become dark. Oh, hey, that's not too bad, is it? There we go. How's that? That's better? It's rough videotaping in the basement of a place. You guys gotta pray for me. I'm looking for my own place, and I need a better income, which I can able to do that. So ask God to open the door for me. But that's another subject, and just asking that little prayer request. We sit there, and God says he'll bind up Satan and throw him in the lake, throw him down, and he'll be bound for 1,000 years. That means every excuse you can't blame. You can't be like Flip Wilson and go, oh, the devil made me do it. You'll have to be accountable for what you did yourself without excuse. Today we sing a hymn in Christian churches that says, just as I am, without one plea. Well, there will be just as we are without one excuse. And we'll have to stand and give an accounting before the Lord Elohim and say, God, have mercy on us. Until next time, it's a short sermon. This is Daniel Bome saying Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Mazel Tov.